So I was just sitting here feeling a little nostalgic about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I thought, hey, why not do a little video about it? So first of all, I'm about to make you feel really old. If you can believe it, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic was released in 1984. So yes, this franchise is almost 40 years old. I know that 1984 doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but believe it or not, it has been 40 years since the 80s. I know, I don't want to accept it either, but hey, it is what it is. Now, of course, Ninja Turtle Mania didn't really start until the late 80s when the 1987 cartoon series and the toy line got going. But the early comics sold well and were actually quite good. Now, if you've never seen them, I mean, kids from my generation, we grew up on the cartoon show and the toys. But the original comics were a lot darker, a lot edgier, and a lot more violent than what was on the cartoon show. Obviously, the cartoon show, they watered it down to make it marketable to kids, but the original comic books were targeted at adults, and they featured some pretty interesting themes. There was one issue where Raphael decides to become the Shredder for a while, and I won't go into it any more than that, but it's fairly wild. If you haven't checked out the original comics, it's quite a trip. Do yourself a favor and check them out. But I was just thinking, I mean, it's been 40 years since this franchise has come into play. It was obviously hot from the late 80s into the mid 90s. Later 90s into the 2000s was sort of a mixed period. There was a live action series that I believe started in 1997. It was a continuation of the live action movie series from the early 90s, but the TV show was kind of hit and miss. It featured a female turtle alongside our four heroes, if you remember that, and it was okay, but really nothing to write home about. And then in the early 2000s, Nickelodeon purchased the property, and there was a few things coming around the mid 2000s. In 2007, animated movie came out. There was some video games that came out. One of them, Battle Nexus, was actually quite well received, but the series was sort of, again, hit and miss territory. 2014, we got a new live action movie. I say live action, the turtles in the movie weren't live action. They were basically CG generated turtles with live action actors around them. It was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It was certainly one of the better Ninja Turtles adaptations of that time period. There's some Ninja Turtles fans that can't stand it. I think it was okay. Did well enough to get a sequel. Sequel did not do as well as the first one, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. But hey, it's 2023, and just released a few weeks ago was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, another film, which has been doing relatively well at the box office. There's been a lot of good reviews on it, and generally speaking, a lot of people are excited to go see a Ninja Turtles movie. So even after 40 years, this is a franchise that still has legs. Obviously, people from my generation are now teaching our kids about this franchise, so it's become a multi-generational thing, which is really, really cool. I do have a little bit of Ninja Turtle memorabilia here I wanted to share really quick. So first of all is a DVD of 10 of the best episodes of the animated series from 1987. I actually won this at a Comic-Con for answering a Ninja Turtles trivia question. Unfortunately, I don't remember what the question was. If I did, I would certainly tell you, but it has slipped my mind. But that was a really fun time doing that. Also at that Comic-Con was the guy who played Raphael in the live-action film, and he was selling a book that he wrote, which is kind of neat. And he came in during that panel that I was in where I won the DVD and answered a couple questions, so that was really cool. I have here a couple of Ninja Turtles toys. These are Playmates figures. I've got one Ninja Turtle here, and of course the Shredder. Off screen, I've got another Ninja Turtle and Splinter. These were re-released a few years ago. They're based on the same toys that I played with when I was a boy growing up, so it's really cool for me to see these and have these again. The only one that I haven't been able to find so far is the Foot Soldier. I was literally at Target a couple of days ago, and they had essentially the entire set, except for Splinter, which I already have, and the Foot Soldier. Why can't I find the Foot Soldier? I don't know, but I can't have Ninja Turtle fights without a Foot Soldier, so sooner or later I need to find a Foot Soldier. I even looked online, and I don't even know if you can order these things. It's very bizarre, but they're definitely included, because if you look at the back on this Shredder set, you can definitely see, I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but it does indicate there that there is a Foot Soldier that's part of this series, so I'm going to keep looking until I find that bugger, let me tell you. And the other thing I have here are a couple of comic books. This is The Last Ronin, the first issue of The Last Ronin, and then this is a follow-up series, The Last Ronin Lost Years. Now, these are comic books, recent Ninja Turtles comic books written by Eastman and Laird, and it basically follows a Ninja Turtle in the future. The other turtles are dead, Splinter's gone, Shredder is long gone, so there's just this one turtle left, and just basically chronicles his story as he's going through this process of grieving his brothers and dealing with everything that's happened, etc., etc. It's definitely not family-friendly kids material, but it is really cool. It's neat to see that a franchise that has been around for this long can continue to innovate and update and still find new ways to be interesting and entertaining. So I'm not thinking the Ninja Turtles are going to go anywhere anytime soon. I can probably make another video like this in 10 years once they hit 50 and beyond, which is cool because, hey, I love Ninja Turtles. I really hope in the future we get another decent live-action movie. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. But, I'm still all in on Turtle Mania. I love playing with the old toys. I love playing the classic games. And I love checking out some of the new stuff that's coming out. So, hopefully in the future there'll be plenty more for me to check out on this. But that is it for this video. I do thank you for watching. You all have a great night.